Dozens of protesters gathered in downtown Thomasville with a clear message. They don't want ICE operating in our neighborhood. Decisions made hundreds of miles away are being felt right here in Thomasville. You can come check out all the docks they have, like this one right here, by coming to 180 Big Star Drive. Thomas County is asking neighbors to step up and join a volunteer posse to help with everything from missing child cases and parades. One Thomasville program is turning curiosity into real-life readiness. And tonight, they finally get their moment to celebrate their 7th state championship. I'm Layan Tarboush here at the Jackets Net Stadium. Victorian Christmas has just started and there's tens of thousands of people here on Jackson Street and on Broad Street. And I'm here joined with
Marnie Stone.
Perfect. Marnie, I want you to tell me what makes Victorian Christmas so special to you.
How wonderful is it that we live in a small town?
If your power bill's been jumping, you're not alone. Georgians have faced 6 rate hikes since 2022. I'm Layan Tarboush, your Thomasville neighborhood reporter, and I'm talking to neighbors and candidates to break down why our power bills are rising and how your vote could bring change or more of the same. Each hike adds up. According to Peter Hubbard, Democratic PSC candidate, the hikes have raised the average family's bill by about 37%, nearly $700 more a year. He says some of that money went toward Plant Vogel's $37 million expansion, and some paid back fuel costs after natural gas prices spiked in 2022. But the rest of the money covers Georgia Power's 12% guaranteed profit margin.
The shortest way to say that is they've gone crazy. I have been a Georgia resident for 25 years. I have never seen increases like this before. Residential side, and now that I own commercial property, like those are going crazy. And I'm a guy who has a lot of solar, and I even have crazy things called batteries, so I can buy it cheap and use it during the day. I mean, all this other stuff, and I'm like, this is nuts.
Joan Noel, who's a Bainbridge resident and business owner, estimates that his electric bills are up about 26% in 3 years. And that's pushed him to add more solar panels and battery backups just to stay ahead of rising costs.
The problem with the Public Service Commission is they are rubber stamping everything that Georgia Power gives them. If you give somebody monopoly, they ought to get regulated. That's kind of the reason we have the regulation. You get the monopoly, but we get to make the rules. And unfortunately, right now, Georgia Power just gets whatever they want.
The Public Service Commission, or PSC, has 5 statewide members who decide how much Georgia Power can charge. It's one of the smallest agencies in the state, but it directly affects how much you pay every month. Democratic PSC candidate Hubbard says the PSC's current Republican majority has favored gas-fired plants and profit margins over cheaper clean energy options. He argues that most construction is driven by Georgia's 100-plus data centers, which together use enough power to run hundreds of thousands of homes.
Most of the new infrastructure that we're building right now it's almost exclusively for data centers. And I'm deeply concerned that the data centers are not going to stick around for the 40 or 45 years it takes to pay off this new infrastructure.
But Commissioner Tim Eccles says that's not true, and that new rules ensure data centers pay their share of expansion costs.
We have created a policy that says data centers have to pay all their own incremental cost for generating the power, transmitting the power, and even the substation. They have to pay for that. So it's not going to fall back on residential ratepayers, even if this is an AI bubble, and even if this AI bubble burst.
Eccles points to a 3-year base rate freeze that began in January, saying it gives Georgians a break while prices stabilize. Still, exceptions remain, like fuel costs, hurricanes, or storm recovery, meaning your total bill can still rise.
I happened to call Georgia Power because I had some other questions. And I said, I'm sort of an expert in this field. Tell me how my rates were frozen, because they don't seem frozen. And the lady was like, oh, yeah, this is their base rate was frozen. Well, what's my base rate? It's the $15 a month charge you pay. It's the base charge. All the electric you use, it wasn't frozen, but the base rate was frozen. Well, who the heck knows that? I'm kind of in the business and I don't even know that.
With so many voices pointing fingers, from profits and power plants to data centers and policy, voters will decide who sets the tone for the next 5 years of power rates in Georgia. The last day of early voting is October 31st and elections are on November 4th. In Thomasville, I'm Layan Tarboush, ABC27. On the outside, this looks like just another empty house, but inside, a senior woman has been trying to survive without water, power, or a bathroom.
I need to be in before it get cold. I don't want to freeze.
I'm Layan Tarboush, your Thomasville neighborhood reporter, and I'm seeing how limited housing in rural Thomas County is forcing seniors to live in unsafe living conditions and what the community is doing to try and help.
We were out looking for people, but then we started seeing needs like this house here, and we had no idea that someone was actually living in it, and it broke our hearts.
Across Thomas County, there are thousands of old homes that appear abandoned. Many are considered unlivable because of missing utilities, structural damage, or safety hazards. But as housing insecurity grows, seniors like Mary Daniels are being forced to live in places like this, not because they want to, but because they have no other option.
It's falling and raining and no bathroom, no bathtub, no supper tank, no nothing.
Mary Daniels is 61 years old and has lived in Barwick her entire life. She's worked in the fields for years and now deals with hearing problems and limited mobility, relying on a cane to get around. For the past 6 years, this red house, built in 1948, has been her home, despite having no electricity, no running water, no windows, and damage made worse by storms and Hurricane Helene.
No electricity, the windows are busted out, there's no door. So, I mean, anybody could walk in, animals could walk in, and she's sleeping in there. There's no heat if there's no electricity. So, I mean, it's like living in a tent, basically, in the middle of December.
Jake Conway has been trying to help Mary find safer housing. He and Mary's sister found a trailer on Facebook Marketplace, hoping it would become her new home. But the trailer has major problems, including large holes in the floor and ceiling.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, they're trying to gut out the entire thing, and there's just stuff everywhere. It's old. I mean, even if they put it together, I just feel like the amount of money going into it's going to be more than it would cost just to have a new one. So I think that's our goal, is to get them a new home.
And through all of this, Miss Mary says what she wants most is something simple, a safe place she can call home.
It would be
That'd
good
be
to...
enough for me to live in. Yes, ma'am.
You're
They
excited?
could come and visit and go on.
Mary Davis is under the impression that she could move into the trailer within a week or two. But Jake tells me without help from the community and from the city of Barwick, it will be very difficult. In Barwick, I'm Layan Tarboush, ABC27. Fatigue, headaches, insomnia, and sexual side effects. Those are just some of what patients report when taking antidepressants. And doctors say that 30% of patients don't respond to medication at all. I'm Layan Tarboush in Colquitt County, showing you a new technology called TMS and how it's now opening a new path for patients here in South Georgia.
So TMS is transcranial magnetic stimulation. And so what that involves is we use the machine behind me to, the magnet produces an electrical impulse that then alters the pathways in the brain that lead to depression.
Dr. Kent Posey from Georgia South Psychiatry says the non-invasive treatment protocol includes around 30 sessions over 6 weeks. That's 5 sessions a week, and each session lasts about 18.5 minutes. Side effects are usually minor, including temporary scalp discomfort and mild headaches.
As far as we're aware, no one else in the area is offering the treatment at this time. And that's one reason that we wanted to bring this in. One, to educate our resident psychiatrists about this treatment option, so when they graduate they can go out and treat their patients wherever they may be. But also to make sure that we don't have to have our patients travel, miles or hours away to receive treatment.
In just a few months of offering this treatment, Georgia South Psychiatry has already treated several patients, with more currently going through sessions. Dr. Lisa Rudolph-Watson, Residency Training Program Director, tells me TMS has a success rate of over 50%.
The patients that we have brought in and have treated have all responded very well. They've noticed reduction in their depressive symptoms, improvement in their mood, ability to function better, whether it be within their work or within their home life, and just very positive overall.
Doctors say the ideal candidate is 18 or older, has tried at least one antidepressant with no improvement, and does not have implanted metal devices. In Colquitt County, I'm Layan Tarboush, ABC27. A child molestation case here in Thomas County has become the center of public debate. According to court records I obtained here, it all started back in 2018, when a 10-year-old girl was allegedly assaulted by her grandmother's boyfriend. The record shows Ardis Johnson Jr. was indicted on felony charges of child molestation and sexual battery against a child under the age of 16. After 8 years of delays, prosecutors discussed a plea deal that would have reduced the original charges to aggravated assault. I spoke with the victims' parents, Brittany and Stacy Weiss, to ask how they felt about the proposed plea deal.
Aggravated assault for molesting a child is not okay. And being that the district attorney office is okay with that, just don't sit with us.
The plea deal was scheduled to be presented in court last Thursday, but the judge declined to accept it, saying it would not be approved as it was presented. I followed with the district attorney's office to ask what would happen next, whether the plea would be renegotiated or the case would finally go to trial. Instead, the district attorney recused himself from the case entirely. Now the case will be handed over to a different judicial circuit to decide what happens next. We'll continue following this case closely, and to stay updated, download our ABC27 app. In Thomas County, I'm Layan Tarboush, ABC27. See this right here, all the smoke that's coming out? No, it's not a wildfire, it's a prescribed fire, an intentional fire. As a matter of fact, Thomas County is #1 in the state of Georgia when it comes to those prescribed burns, with over 70,000 of acres burned last year, and now is the ideal time. Take a look at what Fire Chief Chris Jones says about these fires.
The prescribed fires that are done annually helps with fuel reduction. So a big thing that we see is the flame height in an area that gets routinely burned is a lot smaller and easier to control from our staff in Georgia Forestry than, say, a property that has never been burned, that has a lot of vegetation and leaves and trees and dead material in there that's dry.
And what's very interesting too is that you might think that this is harming the environment, but with the ecosystem here, with all the pine trees, this is the natural process. This is what Native Americans have done for hundreds of years. And I'm not telling you to go and start fires, because there's a lot of regulations and permits that you have to get to start these prescribed burns. Now, if you're doing a small backyard burn, you might get away with it without a state permit, but still, Chief Chris Jones encourages everyone to call and let the crews know what they're burning and where they're burning, just to stay safe. As always, stay tuned for this story and download our ABC27 app to check all our other stories. This device right here is called a baby box, and it's used to safely and anonymously surrender a baby. And now South Georgia advocates are trying to bring it here to our area. Currently, Georgia has a safe haven law, which allows a parent to surrender a baby up to 30 days old. But it has to be face-to-face at a hospital or a fire station. But HB 350 would expand on that by allowing anonymous surrender through baby boxes installed at those locations. Look what Brittany Jordan, a South Georgia doula, says about this.
I think it would make a huge difference, just because not everybody has the mindset to be able to walk in and say, here's my baby. And not everybody also on the other end has the mindset to just take the baby and not say anything.
According to the nonprofit Safe Haven Baby Boxes, more than 350 devices are installed nationwide in 23 states, and more than 60 babies have been safely surrendered in those boxes since 2017. And now House Bill 350 passed unanimously in the Georgia House last week, and it's moving to the Senate next. Advocates across South Georgia tell me if this bill passes, they're going to start fundraising efforts to make sure that all counties in Georgia have one of these baby boxes. In Thomas County, I'm Layan Tarboush, ABC27.